Peace and welcome into the latest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. As always, I'm Fro. I got my man Panera with me and my man UH with me. Peace to the gods, man. How y'all feeling today on this wonderful Sunday afternoon, yo?
I feel good, man. Great week. Learning a little bit, some new things this week and applying some lessons. And I'm just excited. I'm always excited to talk to y'all, be here with y'all on Sundays, man. It's definitely a blessing. I'm good.
No doubt about it. It's always good to see you as well, my G. Panero, how yes, you, sir. My G? How was your week, yo?
Yo, what's going on with my mans and them, yo? How y'all doing, man?
Who that?
What's going on?
Who?
Yeah, I'm talking about y'all, man. How y'all doing, man?
Man, good, man.
Yo, shout out to the South Sudan, man, for almost knocking off Brown and them, man. What's going on, man? You know what I mean?
Man, just doing the knowledge be. Happy as hell. Another Sunday come. I get to build with my mans and them. We got a lot to talk about this week. Last week, we saw the Republican National Convention come into play. So we got a lot to say about that. We're also going to talk about what's going on with the Dems, man. Are the Dems trying to serve us up to Trump or what? Because I got a lot of questions about what's going on with the Democratic Party. Also, man, during that fake ass Republican National Convention, man, it was a lot of culture vultures flying around up there, man. And I want to talk about how we as a culture let people come in and get their names strong and get their reputations right, and then they go out and shit all on us. I want to build about that on this episode. Also, I want to talk about Mr. Elon Musk in the press. Elon Musk, I'm gonna tell y'all something really funny, man, something really interesting. You know what I'm saying? I never thought in my lifetime that I would ever say to a motherfucker, take your fucking ass back to Africa. Wow. I never thought that would come out of my pocket. But man, Elon Musk, take your ass back to Africa. More importantly, take your ass back to South Africa. You fucking bastard. You know what I mean? Part and self, stakes is high right about now. As we continue on to get towards this November election, we got a lot to talk about on this episode. So I want to bring it on back to the beginning of the week. And when the beginning of the week jumped off, we had the Republican National Convention. How much of the convention did you absorb? And what was your thoughts on the Republican National Convention, the grand old party, as they like to call it?
I didn't personally sit down and watch it, but obviously you want to be abreast and see what's going on. So I checked out a few clips through MSNBC and CNN. That's who I prefer to get my national news from. Also a couple of TYT and things like that. I checked it out. It's standard Republican, but it's turned into a cult. It's not even like a political party anymore. It's like it literally was 5 days of praising Trump and probably 4 days of praising Trump, topped off by Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan. So it lets me know that this is totally a show and these people are totally caught up in a cult, man. Are they walking around with the things on their ears, the Band-Aids on their ears, tampons on their ears, all kinds of nonsense. It's truly a cult at this point, man. And I never thought that I'd see American politics devolve into one of the major parties devolve into a cult. It's just really interesting to see that.
Lord, the GOP in Milwaukee and in a black city, let's call it for what it is. They pull up to Milwaukee, bring out all of the circus with them. Don mentioned a few of them when he mentioned Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock. We definitely got a lot more on Kid Rock later on in this episode of The Soup we're going to talk about. But P, when you saw the circus roll up to Milwaukee, man, how much of that did you absorb and what were some of your major takeaways from it?
I really didn't get a lot of it. I did get some snippets of it. But what I did get from it was a huge commercial for Trump. It was a huge advertisement for Trump. It was like even did you see the new shoe is out now? The ear envelope twos are out. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a big giant
money grab,
worship Trump, big commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Kid Rock. Maybe we'll get into Amber Rose a little later on. You know what I'm saying? It was just a big giant worship commercial show from what I saw. And it's a travesty. Like, the Republican Party is no longer a Republican Party. It's a cult now.
Yeah, it was a circus. Yeah, I work from the building, so I absorb a lot of the stuff because I like to try to stay abreast on what's going on and how the press is spinning it in different things. Now, did I watch gavel to gavel or however they call it of the convention? Of course not. I saw bits and pieces. What I really did was I watched the after coverage of whatever happened that day.
Right.
I watched to see what the pundits and different things had to say concerning what was going on during the convention. And as you guys mentioned, we had a guest appearance from Kid Rock. We had a guest appearance from Amber Rose. We had a guest appearance from Dana White. It was really a shit show, if you want to talk about it, because you think about Hulk Hogan is a known racist.
Right.
You know, he's come out and said some very incendiary things about us as a people, also dropping the nigger over and over, especially when he found out somebody was dropping, you know what, to his daughter. And so he had a big problem with that. And his racism has come out and shown for years and years. And then you have Dana White, a known wife beater. We've seen it right on television, right on X or Twitter. I don't even know why I said X. I saw on Twitter him putting his hands on his wife. And then you have Amber. I call her Amber Hose because that's all she's doing is really out here hoeing. And then the Tim Scotts and once again the people with the two first names, the Tim Scotts,
Byron
Donald. We're gonna show the picture of him getting patted on the head by the GOP, some of his Republican comrades patting him on the head, telling him, nice job, come on in, grab a seat at the back of the bus.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what I want to do is this, man.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Some major heavy making news has come out. We had to scrap the entire show that we were going to run with so that we could go ahead and build upon this monumental moment that is happening here in the United States. President Joe Biden has said that he will not run for re-election this November, man. That's heavy. Panero. When the news came down, we all looked at our horns like, is this real? Is this actually happen? And then we had to go to CNN to see if it was real. And we still was questioning if it was real or not because the media is very foxy, man. Very foxy. Lord, Kamala, they handed it off to her. Is she going to run with it like Dorset or what?
This is weird, man. It's breaking news. It's happening as we speak. This is really tough to deal with. Joe Biden is like your grandfather, your great-grandfather. And I feel like he probably thought, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Now, we got Kamala. Do they really want her to be on the ticket? Like what you sent us earlier for what AOC was saying. Do they want the entire ticket to disappear? Is she given the option or not to run or not? In my opinion, her running for president is almost putting Trump in office because like I said in previous shows, the racism and the sexism is going to keep her from becoming president of the United States, even though she most likely, I think she has the mental capacity and the experience with politics to be a good president. But that's me, man of a certain age. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Don?
I knew it was coming. I personally thought that they would wait until the Democratic National Convention to do it. But it's surprising that the pressure got to be to the point where he actually saw reality. And the reality was that 79% of Americans didn't think that he could effectively do his job. Not that he wasn't a good president, but that he could do the job. And I'm glad he realized it himself. I'm looking forward to seeing how the country, how the Democratic Party reacts to Kamala Harris having his full, quote unquote, full support and endorsement from Biden, which is what I'm watching right now. I'm just interested to see how the Democrats are going to do, how they're going to do it, because obviously she deserves it. That's generally the way that things happen, that you have a president and their vice president comes right behind them. Bush, Reagan, we got tripped up with Al Gore and Bill Clinton. But then again, we've got Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Traditionally, that's something that I think that is going to be a difficult decision because of the things that Dee mentioned earlier. Her race, being a person of color because she's Black and East Asian, and her sex. She's a woman. And we saw what happened the last time we had a woman up there who had the experience, who had the knowledge, who knew how to run government. She lost to Donald Trump. It's going to be interesting to see how they shake it out to make everybody feel, or to make it fair. We're going to see what their sense of fairness is very quickly.
The Democrats, since the debate, will basically have me on some ghost shit.
What the fuck is going on? I can't go to sleep.
They've been having me on that time because they've been on this mission to move Joe Biden out of the way. So, mission accomplished, man. He is no longer going to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. I, like you, gentlemen, I am very skeptical that European men are going to vote for a Black woman to be the leader of the free world. I find it very hard to see that happening. So my next thought is, what are the Dems going to do now to make me say,
what the fuck is going on? I can't go to sleep.
You know what I mean? Because reading the tea leaves and looking at some of the things that have been said about Kamala Harris, a lot of them are not in favor of her being the nominee, even though Joe Biden just endorsed her to be the nominee. I saw a sucker on with Jake Trapper this morning on Inside Politics. Joe Manchin, senator from West Virginia. And he gets up there again. He plays double dutch. Sometimes he's in, and then sometimes he's not. He gets there this morning and says Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, and the governor of Kentucky, another Democrat. Both of them have what in common? White men.
Yeah.
Now they are not of a certain age, but they fit the demo that most of these people want. So I pose the question to you, Panero. The press. Now are the press going to take the ball now and start saying this faction of the Democrats with Kamala, this faction of the Democrats want a whole new ticket? Is this where the press is going to go now?
It looks like any type of controversy, which that would be controversy, which generates money, is where the press is going to go. So that sensationalism of division between the Democratic Party is where the press is going to go to put more eyes on their station to get more money. Now, the thing about Kamala is now she's in a position where she can defend herself as running for president. Before, she was too busy defending Biden. You know what I mean? So in all actuality, it looks as if even though he dropped out, he may not, if he got elected, I don't think he'd probably make it the full 4 years anyway. So subconsciously, in the back of my mind, she was going to become the president anyway, if he got elected. But now that he's dropped out, this is her opportunity to put herself out in the forefront and give you everything that she has to show people that she's capable. But again, even if she's capable, she's still a woman and she's still a minority. So that's what it all boils down to. And the media is going to play that sensationalism part of it, the division part of it, to get the bread, because that's what it's all about, man. It's all about the money.
UH, do you think she can win?
Ooh.
Don, check this out, though. Do you think she can win the popular vote and don't get the electoral the same way Hillary did?
I think that can happen. I think that can happen. However, I think that her path to winning is clear. By her being a person of color, that gives her a decided advantage in the urban areas. Milwaukee, all the swing states that they constantly talk about. Michigan, Detroit, you got Detroit in Michigan, you got Milwaukee in Wisconsin, you got Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, you got Atlanta in Georgia, where she's very well received. You've also got Nevada and Colorado, which could be either way. And then Arizona, which isn't too far from California. So she's got a brand out there. I'm interested I think she can win. I really do. I just think that she really needs to have a strong, I hate to say it, white male running mate, but I think that would make people feel more secure with her being the Democrats' nominee. If she had someone who they were familiar with, who was more traditional in the aspect of what we're used to seeing our politicians look like. I think that if they do it correctly and they pick the right person, I think that Speaker Jeffries, is definitely out of the place right now. A guy from Maryland is definitely out of the game right now. Because there's no way in the world that you're going to have a whole black ticket that's going to run in a Democrat. That's not going to happen under any circumstances.
So let me follow up to you, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you like to see? Obviously, you would love to see Hakeem Jeffries. You would love to see Wes Moore. The list goes on. But realistically, who do you like? Who would you like to see? And second, is that person is going to be cool to be second to a black woman?
Wow.
I think that Gavin Newsom would be obviously the easiest choice. The problem with Gavin is that he's a brand already. It may be a point where, like you say, his campaign or his image or his brand may be a little bit overpowering for her, and so that could cause conflict. But the conflict is good if it brings about a resolution. Someone taught me. I taught someone that a long time ago. The name that I like is the guy from Ohio, the old governor of Ohio.
Kinzick?
Yeah, Kissick. I like Kissick. You know why? Because he's been out of politics for long enough. He's gonna catch those middle of the road / traditional Republican voters. When I say traditional, pre-maggots, he'll catch those guys. I think that by him being a governor of a smaller Midwestern state, that he doesn't have the blueprint. He doesn't have the footprint that Gavin Newsom has. But he's still a white male, so it makes people feel comfortable. Those are the two that I could see.
Man.
It's funny. It's funny, right? We were going to get into this on our original programming, but since the major news came out, we scrapped it. I forget what the writer's name is. Man, he's Shapiro, whatever his first name is. I can't think of it, but forgive me. So he wrote an op-ed. He's one of the elite guys. Damn it, man. I hate that I can't think of what his name is, but he wrote an op-ed about Mitt Romney being the nominee for the Democrats. Yeah.
Wow.
Which was mad. But P, who would you like? Who would you like to be her number two?
Man, I don't know. That's tough because either you get rid of the complete ticket or you go with her and Newsom, or I'm thinking Jeffries, Newsom, because man, her just being a woman and being a black woman, a woman of she's black and was she Indian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's just her being on a ticket. At least Hillary was white. You know what I mean?
She had that going for her, huh?
Jeez, we're in a bad situation right now, man.
Oh, so Lord, again, so let's piggyback.
So hold on, check this out. What if it was like maybe she shouldn't be on the ticket at all?
Whoa. Now I think that would hurt
How bad would that hurt though?
I think that would hurt horribly because of the
Man.
fact. Yeah, we are not happy.
I'm just asking. I'm just putting it out there.
Not
What
happy.
hurt on the ticket is almost an L. It's almost the third quarter, and you down 27-3.
They just
You know what I'm saying?
Pardon me for.
And I was about to ask y'all. I was gonna put it to y'all. The prior episode that we were gonna do, have the Democrats set us up to fall victim to Trump.
This is what I'm saying. I was gonna say when you sent that to us regarding what AOC was saying, I'm thinking, wait a minute, why are they sabotaging this? This is a sabotage to put Kamala in a position to fail, because I'm saying that's what it looks like is happening. Is there a particular reason why? Is it the one wing of the same bird? The Democrat and the Republicans are the same, but just two different wings, or the white Democrats are leaning Republican? You know what I'm saying? So are they trying to sabotage this for Trump to actually win? Because it just don't look good, man, at all.
I'm watching CBS as we're holding the show, and they just said that Kamala has a 3-point lead on Trump already. Her versus Trump, head to head.
3 points?
Polls nationally at her being ahead 3 full percentage points.
And then you got to look at like black women. I've seen a lot of black women who are actually against Kamala, which is weird to me also. So I don't know, man. This breaking news got me all shook up a little bit, B.
It's definitely different, man. I think that it increases the black vote. It increases the young vote, because now the younger people, now they can really focus on them and let them know that, hey, grandpa's not running anymore. Now we've got a younger candidate. She's female, so automatically young people are going to be excited about
They can identify a little bit.
They can identify. It's like their mom. They will look at her kind of as their mom, and the way that she speaks, the way she carries herself. Like I said, it just depends on really who they put behind her, because if they don't put someone strong behind her, they're definitely going to lose. I can't even remember who Hillary's running mate was.
Who other than Newsom? Like you said, you can't go black and black with Jeffries. It's got to be a white guy, man. I hate to say it, but that's just the dynamics of the country.
I don't think that. I think it has to be somebody from the East Coast. I think it has to, like I said, that's why I said Kasich, because
Ohio.
Yeah,
Kasich was a Republican too, Don. You do know?
Yeah. I know he's a Republican. They switched. You know what I'm saying? And I love the way I could see them getting, because he's a never Trumper. I could see him getting someone like that to sway those middle line voters who might be like, you know what? I'm not feeling Kamala. I'm definitely not feeling Trump. But you know what? I like this guy. He's a moderate to a certain extent. I just think that I think it's the best move. He's an East Coast guy. He's also a Midwest guy. So
Ohio is a swing state, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you don't feel Kasich? Bro.
I mean, I respect your opinion, but I'm not feeling that choice.
Okay, who you feel? Gavin?
Man, I'm a loss for words. If
this is crazy.
I'll tell you the truth, because again, like I said, you got a whole lot of things that you have to do. First and foremost is being a black woman. They're gonna go to town on that. Bottom line. Nikki Haley, that was her whole thing.
Right.
The worst thing in the world would be Kamala Harris presidency. That was the thing, man. I don't know who I would like to be her number two. If I had my choice, I would be on some P type thing. Westmore,
Jeffries
possibly, or someone else possibly. But either way, man, it's gonna come down to these Europeans. These Europeans is gonna have to vote for her as well. We can't, as a people, elect her. You know what I mean? If it was as simple as that, I would say, let's go, Wes. Let's do this. But we can't elect her. She's gonna have to be electable by the suburban housewives. They're gonna have to fall in for her, because we all know that the European men didn't even want Hillary. they couldn't stomach voting for her. And now we got a sister coming in.
They already calling her DEI vice president.
Okay, hold on. They got a vice president. They got a vice president up here. Her potential BP picks. Hold on, let me see. She's got Andy Beshear, governor from Kentucky. Jay Pritzker from Illinois. Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan.
Whitmer, I heard about that.
Roy
That's
Cooper.
a woman.
I like Whitmer. Whitmer ain't no joke, but keep going.
Roy Cooper from North Carolina. Gavin Newsom from California. Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania. Westmore from Maryland. Mark Kelly from Arizona.
Pretty much everybody.
Gina Romano, Commerce Secretary. Buttigieg, and one more person. Hold on. Who's the other person?
Now, could you imagine that ticket?
Oh, Raphael
A
Warnock.
black woman and a gay guy?
Right. That would be for sure no vote. Now, I'm not saying for me, but for these Europeans, they're gonna fight hard as hell from this day on. It's gonna be, should she be the nominee? Now, you said they just put a poll up, UA, of what?
Her up being three percentage points on Trump.
And again, man, she should be able to beat Trump hands down.
She should stop Trump.
America is such a racist, misogynist fucking country, is what makes me hesitate with it, man. Totally.
Yeah, and I'm looking at these candidates, so I put it on pause. We can automatically knock off Whitmer because she's a woman. Yeah, we can get rid of Warnock because he's black.
Right.
We can get rid of Westmore because he's black.
Buttigieg is gay.
Buttigieg is gay, so he's gone. Gina she's a woman, so she's gone. So now we really got Beshear, Pritzker, Cooper, Newsom, Shapiro, and Kelly.
So for me, if I'm a betting man, it's gonna come down to Josh Shapiro and Newsom. That's who I'm saying is gonna come down to. But again, my question for Shapiro is, will you be a good number two? I can see Newsom being a halfway decent number two. Shapiro, I don't know a whole lot about Shapiro. Shapiro just recently became governor since Biden got elected president. So he's been the governor of Pennsylvania within this 4 years. I've seen him move. I've seen him talk and speak, and he seems like a killed dude. I don't know what type of minorities he has in his administration. I don't know about that. That's one thing I don't know about. Obviously, Newsom has been on the scene a lot more than Shapiro, is more, I would say, nationally known than Shapiro. He's a strong dude. He's on his shit. He knows his shit. You know what I mean? He's a smart guy. And that will go as well for Shapiro. But like I was telling y'all earlier, man, no, man. I really don't know. P, they got us on the tightrope right now.
Man, I was just looking up Hillary's vice presidential candidate. She was running as Tim Kaine, I think.
Right.
Wow, it's like process of elimination what Don just did when he X'd them all out, because all the running mates were all out there. You really don't have too much of a choice, man. It's just you're giving ammo to the Trump administration. That's all this is, man. Now they're gonna take this and go crazy with it, and it's gonna start swaying people who were on one side, possibly swaying to the other, or not voting at all, which is not good. We're in a really fucked up spot right now, man. So you got to get out there. First of all, like, share, and subscribe.
Comment.
Second of all, and comment down below.
Turn on the notifications too.
Man, you got to vote, man. You got to vote. Once we get some clarity on who her running mate is, you're going to have to stick by her and just go ahead and vote. And all these Democrats who wanted Biden out, they were wanting him out, but they were never saying they wanted Kamala in. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
So it's like just in a tough spot, man. It's crazy.
Once again, I hope one moment here, UA. I've said on a previous episode, the GOP, the Republicans, they're gonna march in one line and run way.
Stick like glue together.
One style. The Dems, they're gonna be One is going to be over here. One is going to be on Main and Utica. One is going to be on Main and Delavan. And another one is going to be on Main and Kensington. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to be, they on the same line.
Right.
But they ain't on the same time.
Different train station.
You know what I'm saying? I see it. Yeah, your wheels churning, man. Give it to me.
I'm looking at now that we've eliminated the people who definitely are bad for the ticket. Now I'm looking at it by region, right? The only problem with Gavin being her running mate is they're both from California. So you know what they're going to sell? The Republicans are going to sell the elitist, radical, left-wing train of thought to the Southerners and East Coast, right. To the Southerners and to the Middle Americans. That would be potentially the problem with him. Roy Cooper has a low key.
Where is he from?
He's from Carolina.
Okay.
So that's good for the.
Is he a governor?
He's a governor.
Okay.
He's a governor of North Carolina. So that brings the South into play, which is something they're definitely going to need. Pritzker, I think that him being from Illinois is also good because that's
Midwest,
yeah, Midwest representation. Looks like a typical white guy. And Bashir is also from the South. I think he's younger, so that may be
Bashir. What's his nationality though?
He's definitely white.
Oh, okay.
Bashir that's the guy from Kentucky.
Exactly. Oh. He's the governor of Kentucky. Just looking at the candidates, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. Like I said, I think just by breaking it down by region, I think really it's probably gonna be either, like you say, Shapiro, Cooper, or Pritzker. I don't think Bashir or Gavin. I think Gavin is a viable choice, obviously with his national presence. But the thing that is going to hold them back is, like I said, they're both from California, and the majority of people throughout the country, at least especially in the South, they really don't like people from California. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they had a whole thing about. I remember we had a campaign going for the other senator we've got down here, not Warnock, the other one. The Jewish guy.
Ossoff,
John Ossoff. They were like, yeah, John Ossoff is going to take your money and move and be partying in San Francisco with Nancy Pelosi. This was an actual commercial. You know what I mean? They were literally targeting California for being way too liberal, way too extreme. I think balances that out by her law enforcement background, by being the district attorney of the state of California. So that helps. That brings some police support back into the campaign. California being liberal, then you get the unions are always with it. It's a huge labor state. It's one of the largest economies. I think the 8th largest economy. You don't need to, but they still only have a limited number of electoral votes. So they don't need to be California heavy. You know what I mean? They really have to think regionally as far as this is concerned. So like I say, Cooper, Shapiro, or Pritzker, I think are going to be one of the others. I think Kelly is too far West Coast too. And he's definitely not known enough to be a factor.
Yeah, she definitely is going to have to select someone that's going to appeal to America. That's what they always talk about, the heartland. And with her being from Cali and Shapiro, just as an example, being from the East Coast
and Jewish,
they probably is going to frown on that. But so they got work to do to figure this
immediately.
To figure this out right now. I also wanted to bring this point up because I texted with my sister about this earlier in the week when they were trying to facilitate pushing Biden out. So now that they got Biden out, Nancy Pelosi, it's time to come on home. Jim Clyburn, it's time to come on home. All of the senators and the congressmen who are over 65, I say 65, 70 would be the cutoff to be holding public office. You know what I'm saying? 65. That was one of the things that Biden was going to run on this particular time around. Term limits.
Yeah.
Making sure you can't have lifetime appointees and different things of that nature. That was one of the things that he was going to bring to the table, as well as squashing all medical bills. You know what I mean? If you went to the emergency room for a broken finger and you didn't have no insurance, and now you $10,000 in debt because you went in there for a broken pinky You know what I'm saying? The pharmaceuticals and the healthcare system, man, out of control with their prices. You know what I'm saying? They should give you a menu. You know what I mean? When you go into the hospital,
What can you what you can afford, right?
such and such for this. What's the next one down from that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Give me some type of choice. When I just don't bang me with a $50,000 bill because I had an X-ray on my ankle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I digress, man, because it's serious out here, man.
Crazy.
And right now, it's really, really going to get ramped up because the isms is really going to come out now. There's no reason for it not to come out. You know what I mean? We got a black woman that, as of today, as of right now, is the head of the Democratic Party going into the convention. That racism is going to come out full bore right now. You thought Kamala Harris, you thought you had it bad yesterday? Today, it is on and popping for these hillbilly redneck fucks, yo. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't, man. I'm at a loss for words. Maybe that, like you said, like Nancy Pelosi and the others that you mentioned, maybe they'll get their ego out of the way like Biden did, because it was more of an ego thing with him, which I can understand as a man. If I'm the president, I want to run for president. I want to continue to be the president. But, you know, time waits for no man. If you're unable, you know, I applaud him for having the courage to actually step down. So let's see if Pelosi steps down. Let's see if these other people step down. There need to be some age requirements, because if you're not able to do the job, allow someone else to take over that's younger and has better ideas to take over. It's just in this spot right now, the three of us right now with this breaking news, man, this is crazy, man. And we're scrambling to figure out who's going to be her running mate, because we have to make sure that it fits what white America wants in order for us to have our interests taken care of, which is just nuts. But that's how it is. It is what it is, right?
It is that. I think about it. Last week we came on the air. We had the alleged assassination tip on Trump, right? He caught a stray in the air. Then he put a church envelope on the earlobe and like he was in World War II, whatnot. You know what I mean? They already said that the man didn't even require stitches.
Nah.
You know, he gonna show up with this big old envelope on his ear.
He had a 9 a.m. tea time the next morning
with nothing
on his ear. If an AR-15 even touched your ear, fam, where would your ear be?
What did I tell y'all? That's what we talked about last week. I was like, yo, listen, that man you don't get grazed by an AR-15.
And then you got MAGA wearing ear bandages in his support. But when an AR-15 hits a bunch of children, they're wearing buttons supporting AR-15s.
They got buttons on their lapel for the right to bear arms. They a bunch of booty heads. We all know what they are. I was saying last week, man, we saw this man get his life someone attempt to take his manhood, everything he has, right? We saw when Reagan had the bullets shot at him and he took a bullet. And here we've seen a president saying, this is what? The second time? No, because Nixon had stepped down before we right. This is the first time in our lifetime that a sitting president decided not to run for a second term. You know what I mean? What a time to be alive.
Yeah, man. And it's definitely, we were alive when Nixon dipped out. I think it was 74 when he dipped out, if I'm not mistaken. So we were around. We probably don't really remember it, but we definitely were around. Yeah, this is really, I was saying this is like the best reality show ever. The only problem is that they're playing
it's real.
Our real lives are at stake in this shit. So, but it's real. Yeah, this is definitely the wildest reality show ever. So my thing is, I noticed that Biden came out this, cause I was watching TV earlier, getting ready for the show, and I noticed that Biden was proposing term limits and age limits, and I'm like, wait, how is he gonna propose term and age limits when clearly people are asking for him to dip out? So to see that he taps out the same day that I see that news is interesting. Yeah. And as we discussed a few pods ago, I told you I'm definitely in support of term limits. I don't think that you should be a government official for more than 25 years. I don't think that people like Strom Thurmond, who finally died, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but he was a senator for 60 years or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Carried his racist policies from the 20s, from the 30s all the way into the 90s, and affected the way our country was. So I think there should be term limits. I think there should be age limits. And I'm truly interested to see how the Democratic strategists and how the donors, because they said that basically and that's what I think really caused Biden to tap out also, is that they said they weren't giving them any more bread. And we're seeing all these tremendous contributions to the RNC, people like Elon Musk, the guy from PayPal, they're putting their money where their mouth is. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually get this thing to be successful for Ms. Harris, because politics has definitely been weird, man. We've seen a president two presidents get shot, quote unquote. We've seen an insurrection. We've seen a first black president. We've seen a reality star become president. We've seen a Supreme Court rule on an election because it was too close and everybody knows it was a sham. The amount of political history that has occurred in our lifetime is amazing. And it's satisfying me being a history buff, but it's also has me on pins and needles for what's to come in the next few months.
Not to mention we survived a damn pandemic.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the pandemic. 9/11. We didn't talk about the wars that we've survived. We didn't talk about the Bill Clinton impeachment. Just all kinds of things that politically our lives have been very exciting from the time we touched down. I just hope that the wrong political decisions by a majority of Americans or Americans in the wrong places, probably the right places, don't cause the end of civilization, because that's really
right
what we're looking at. Trump is a maniac. He's got maniacs behind him. We don't want somebody like that with the power to end life as we know it, man. Not just saying nuclear bombs and stuff like that, but literally the way that we go about our daily
day
life.
to day.
It will drastically be affected if this guy is elected president again.
Will George Clooney write an op-ed endorsing Kamala Harris this time around?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the elites act. We're going to be interesting to see.
Meathead be okay now, or will Meathead be talking about we need to have Josh Shapiro and Gavin Newsom as the ticket?
You know, he definitely don't want Shapiro. Clooney definitely don't want Shapiro.
Right. Jewish.
Yeah, he don't want him.
They don't know what they want, man. As long as they in power, that's all they really want.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just want to stay with their hand on the wheel. You know what I mean? That's what's driving them crazy, is that they finding out that in a couple years that they're not going to be the majority. And a lot of them is losing their fucking evil, racist ass minds behind that shit. And that has a lot to do with the type of movement that Trump and his acolytes, how they're moving about now, man. You know, I'm just thankful, man, that I'm able to build with y'all, man, because, you know, it releases a lot of tension that I have, man, because like I said, man, they had me on some Mr. GFK type shit. What the fuck is going on? I can't go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I don't have no grandbabies as of yet. You know what I mean? But my grandkids, man, one day I will have one, maybe, if I'm blessed to have one. And we want them to come in this world and be able to have a chance at the things that they want to do in life. And at this particular point in time, man, with this old redneck, racist ass, misogynist ass Trump on the ticket, man, who wants to take away everything that we have right now.
All your civil liberties, fam.
Wants to take away
that you work for. He want to take it away.
So,
he said once he gets in, he completely demolishing anything DEI.
It's gonna be very interesting to see if Americans are willing to inconvenience their way of life just out of racism.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
So
Yeah.
let's go through the list. Put Medicare on the path to privatize. Repeal President Biden's Medicare drug price negotiating program. Threaten Medicaid coverage for hundreds of thousands of Americans. Reverse the Biden administration student debt relief efforts. Withdraw from the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Climate Agreement. Repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. Shred greenhouse gases regulations. Replace the White House climate advisor with someone focused on boosting the fossil fuel industry.
Wow.
Give
Anything
Trump
that got to do with regulations, fam, it's just a
right.
wrap.
Give Trump the power to reject all climate sciences research directed by the Biden administration. Gut the federal workforce and install loyalists by making tens of thousands of civil servants fireable at Trump's will.
Wait, read that one again.
It says, gut the federal workforce and install loyalists.
Loyalist.
Tens of thousands of civil servants fireable at Trump's will. So it's Tuesday. Fire all the black people. Black.
And if you're not a loyalist,
fire the blacks.
Number 11, allow Trump to deploy the military against American citizens, man. Let me read that one again. Allow Trump to deploy the military against American citizens.
Won't be no more marching, I guarantee you that. Won't be no Black Lives Matter. You take that.
Allow ICE to conduct raids at schools, churches, hospitals, playgrounds, and other sensitive areas. What other sensitive areas? Damn. Schools, churches, hospitals, playground, and other sensitive areas? Shit. Make federal governments establish marriage between a man and a woman and the ideal of natural family structure. They damn sure wouldn't vote for Buttigieg.
exactly.
And they might execute his ass.
Then they want to put him to death. And then they would be mad at Kamala because she got a European. Well, then we go to 14, withdraw federal anti-discrimination projects for transgender students. Re-implement Trump's transgender military ban and expel transgender service members. Reverse the FDA's approval of the abortion medication.
Wow.
Invoke a 150-year-old defunct law called the Comstock Act to ban the shipment of abortion pills. Erect our de facto national abortion ban. 18, compel states to report the reason for every abortion performed within their borders. 19, allow states to ban employers from providing health benefits that cover abortion.
Now that's what Kamala's going to have to run on, fam. She's going to have to use that to get women, to swing women towards her. The Project 2025, when it comes to all of the women's rights to their own bodies. I don't know what she's going to focus on, man, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
I think she's a perfect person. But
How insane, UH?
Very insane, but I've been privy to it for quite some time. I think that just the tone of Kamala is in her ability. I think Trump is afraid of her.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that
he won't
intellectually, debate. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because
debate her.
He definitely does not want to debate her. You know what I mean? And because it will become clear who's the better candidate,
right?
Who's more articulate, who's more experienced, and who's more knowledgeable. So it's going to be interesting to see how they what they run her on.
Right.
Now, what I do commend the Democrats for doing, commend us as Americans for doing, is now that I said, even though I was aware of Project 2025 quite some time ago, now I see more people posting about it. Now I see it becoming more of something that people are really literally paying attention to. So I'm glad to see that. And I think that the Democrats really focus on their accomplishments in the past 4 years under Joe Biden, because we give him props every week for the things that he's done. No one ever said he was a bad president. We just saying that he was past his time.
Elderly, yeah.
But as long as they can focus on the accomplishments of their previous administration, and also let people know the severity and the seriousness of Project 2025. If they keep on pounding that out, make it as simple as possible to people, I think that they'll have an easy road to the White House. Easy.
Man, oh man. 2024, man. Who could have ever thought when we first started the suit, man, and we started building on and pontificating on what was going to come down the line, we could have never thought that we would see somebody take a buck shots at 45. You know what I'm saying? We would have never thought that we would see Joe Biden
Step down.
with the Olympics coming up, pass the baton to Kamala Harris, and hopefully she can turn that shit up Harry Richardson one time.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
And it was an exciting episode, man. You know what I mean? Breaking news coming on the suit, man. That's a first that, you know, that this has happened with my brothers, man. And who else would I want to sit up here and build with some breaking news with other than my likes, man?
Wow, this is definitely incredible, man.
Before we get out of here, you got anything else you want to say and or you want to grace the suit with, man, before we wrap up?
Yeah. I'll keep it real simple. I deal with a lot of legal stuff in my job, right? Obviously, I told you guys I'm a legal liaison for a financial company, right? So, what I've noticed and what people fail to realize is that every jurisdiction that you're in, and I just want to just teach some civics real quick. Every jurisdiction that you're in has judges, ordinances, laws that apply strictly for that particular jurisdiction. People who are in charge to enforce those are the judges. Make sure that you do things the correct way. Generally, there's a process and or a law and or statute or ordinance in place that you can refer to get the interpretation of how the law should be applied. I am running into a situation, and I have to speak about it on here because it's relevant. I've run into a situation where certain judges follow certain rules. Certain judges want certain things. One judge may want, say for instance, a certified letter to be sent out, whereas the other judge may want the crime to occur in their particular jurisdiction, right? Now, you may run to a judge who wants none of that. They may just, listen, just if they stole a certain amount of money, you don't have to do this, that, and the other. So you hear differentiating opinions from each judge that's out there. I want us to keep that in mind as we enter the election season. Right? There are things in place that we need to understand that affects all of us. But it's extremely important to understand that interpretation is something completely different. And we have to be well aware of how people interpret different things, because the way that they interpret it might be for your benefit or it might be adverse. Keep that in mind when you vote.
That's peace. Keep that in mind when you do what, UA?
When you vote.
Please vote, y'all. We got to vote like we never voted before. Man, go ahead and put your extra seasoning, your special touch on the soup for the people one time, down.
This might be a little spicy for the soup. This might be a little controversial. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. I'm going to tell you why. Men usually sacrifice their happiness for the sake of the family. Women usually sacrifice the family for the sake of their happiness. That's from of a certain age, man. Share, subscribe, comment. Let me know how you feel. Man, this has been a day, man. This is crazy.
Man, listen.
Breaking news, man.
Listen, man.
With my guys, this is nuts, man. What we gonna do, man? What we gonna do, man?
Listen, it's the same old soup, man. But we just reheating it. Before I get out, before I get out of here, I want to say, in the words of the late great Biggie Smalls, stay low and keep firing. Until then, y'all, peace.
Peace to my guys.